Hey everybody, I have a video here for you today, and this is a follow-up on my last two videos where I really wanted to go into depth of what was found supposedly a couple hundred years ago under the front of the Sphinx. And in my last video I showed how it appears that the ancient Anubis statue or shrine or monument is up on an actual platform or pedestal. And that really explains how, in the most ancient texts, it describes Anubis on his shrine, guarding the Giza necropolis. So that really made sense. And one thing that I've done in my previous videos, and I know some of you people are just kind of tuning in now, so just in brief, I thought the Sphinx was originally a lion, and then I read Robert Temple's book, The Sphinx Mystery, The Sanctuary of Anubis, and I thought that was a slight possibility. And then I looked into it more and more and more, and everything I found confirmed what he had wrote, and there were some things he left out of his book that I kind of discovered and could connect it to what he was writing. And he had special access, and he searched all around the Sphinx, and I'll leave a couple links below, but he had access that some researchers today don't have access to, and I think that is the core of why some of them kind of have a problem with Robert Temple and why they don't maybe latch on to this theory. But I have connected it in every way. The only alignment of this great statue or monument or shrine is to the rising sun on the spring equinox. They would have not thrown in another alignment that was non-precise. Is that even a word, non-precise? But I have connected it in really every way. The anthropomorphic gods, the meaning of the jackal, and where he is seen guarding deserts on the edge of cemeteries, or the cemeteries on the edge of the deserts. I think I said that backwards. But one thing that I really connected it to was the ancient text, how he is guarding the box coffin of Orion. And this is the only intact thing left about Anubis on his shrine, coming from an actual pharaoh's tomb. So I think what is put on here comes from the people who really knew the history and really knew what was going on. And I have referred to this. It says, guarding the box coffin of Orion at the gates of heaven. And, was Anubis sitting on something that I showed in my last? And there was a doorway found down here. Was there something leading underneath? And there is chambers, and that is kind of not even arguable from what people like Robert Temple and even Zahi Hawass did a TV special where he was down below the Sphinx, and then he totally said there's no such chambers below the Sphinx. So and I really wanted to get into this, and I think the Anubis Shrine that was found in Tut's tomb is the perfect place to look. And you notice how the paws here in the corner of the shrine, well, that's what we see here pretty much. And by the way, the paws, if you really know what a lion's paws look like, these are not lion's paws. These are more like Anubis paws, and these aren't like similar to Anubis paws. These are Anubis paws before the restoration work was done on these. And I think they are called retracted appendages that are thumbs or fingers or toes that are right here on lions and right back here and here. These are Anubis paws. Anybody who has seen the shrine of Anubis knows that what we see here that was uncovered are Anubis's paws upon his shrine. But I think what is really important is what was found on this shrine. And there is the Jed pillar. It is all over this, and in a video about a week ago I connected the Jed pillar to the king's chamber and the most ancient sacred text. But I did a video here, really one of my very first videos on Anubis. I think this is coming from about 4 years ago now, and I talked about Graham Hancock in his book Fingerprints of the Gods. He reads part of what is on here, and I just want to play a little bit of that video And this is a diagram or a comparison that Danny Wilton did and sent it to me. And the back tail here matches exactly. And if you follow Danny Wilton, you know how good he is with comparative pictures and diagrams. So that is, I mean, it's an exact match. But let's just play a little here of what Graham Hancock puts in Fingerprints of the Gods of what is on this only really intact Anubis shrine coming from a pharaoh's tomb. He says, "It was tempting too to wonder whether there was any significance in the fact that in ancient times Anubis had been referred to by Egyptian priests as the guardian of the secret and sacred writings. Under the grooved edge of the gilded casket on which the effigy now crouched was found an inscription, and it said this: 'Initiated into the secrets.' Alternative translations of the same hieroglyphic text rendered it variously as 'He who is upon the secrets' and 'He who is guardian of the secrets.'" So that was just a little bit of my video from 4 years ago, and I sound like a child. But that is a little bit, and he goes on to say how ancient Anubis was the most ancient sacred god in some of the most ancient towns of Abydos, and he mentions a few other very ancient sites in Egypt, and that is clear now why that is the fact, because it was just coming from the most ancient place where Anubis was the god, and he was the original god of Rostau, and that's why they put a monument of him up. But let's just read a little bit more of what was on this Anubis shrine, the only intact one from a pharaoh's tomb, and the people who were putting inscriptions on it probably knew what was going on. And it says this: "On the Anubis shrine, the only one intact ever found in a pharaoh's tomb, it is I who hinder the sand from choking the secret chamber, and who repel the one who would repel him with the desert flame. I have set aflame the desert, I have caused the path to be mistaken. I am for the protection of the deceased." And it says on the only intact shrine of Anubis, perfectly matching what we see on this picture of him being up on a shrine. And here is the picture that was taken of the shrine of Anubis and the inscriptions on it. And here are the paws, the Anubis paws. That's what we see here. And what it says on the Anubis shrine is, "It is I who hinder the sand from choking the secret chamber." And remember how the sand just unbelievably poured into this area in those readings from the archaeological, digging out of the front of the Sphinx? It says, "I hinder the sand from choking the secret chamber." Now those are the words of the ancient Egyptians, the ones who really knew and put the information on this ark that Anubis was sitting on. It matches this. Everything makes sense. In the very early Book of the Dead, it says there is a giant dog, the tallest thing on the west side of the Nile, who is upon his shrine, and he is the guardian of the secrets. Does anybody really think it was a lion originally? I hope you thought this was interesting, and you all have a very nice day.